All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that their East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter, and this is Chatter with Statter, and it looks like we have got all sorts of people hanging out, ready to chitter chatter, so let's get at her. All right, we have got Shock in the house, letting everybody know what the schedule is, and Terry in Scotland coming in with 4 viewers from that raid. I'm going to assume that Katie's Aura might have been one of those people on that raid. DJ Smook also, I'm thinking, might have been a raider, and of course, Terry in Scotland, totally a raider. Let's see here who else we got in the house. We've got Darlene, we've got Thomas the Turtle, we have got Shock coming in on the YouTube side, just making sure everything works, and we've got Rick coming in saying, how's it? We've got eMusic here. Hey, eMusic, good to see you. Let's see here who else we got. We got ourselves a gifted sub from from Rick to his sweetie pie. Darlene, thank you so much for gifting that sub. And Darlene, good to see you here. Let's see here. What else do we've got? We've got Bacola T, and lo and behold, Big Shock here. We have got a picture or two from Bacola T. We'll be getting into that in a little bit. What else do we have on the docket? We have got a hello to Mama Sean coming in on that there YouTube side. Good to see you, Mama Sean. And we've got Terry. Thank you so much, Terry, for the 1,000 biddies. I finally got that one right. And let's see here. Katie's Aura on a watch streak of a quadrillion. That's it. A quadrillion watches is what she's on the watch streak. Actually, I think it's only 10, but 10 is good. And Hype Train level 2 has already been hit. I can't believe it, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, so first, we're going to get the party started, and then we're going to watch the much-awaited ball video, which, honestly, y'all, I really don't understand the fascination with this, but that is okay. You asked for it, and I tried to deliver it, and then I forgot to deliver it, and then I didn't deliver it, but now I'm finally delivering it, only after we get the party started. All right, there we go. And yeah, Shock, I hope you're feeling better. Super glad to see you here. And Trail Dust in the house. Are I in time? Are I in time? Yeah, that's exactly what he wrote. No. Am I in time for a Lono break? You are early for a Lono break by about 45 minutes, but we will definitely be having one. And let's see here. Darlene, right, Terry and Baby Bo promoted it, so you had to see the pink ball video. Precisely. So, for those of all y'all who've been hearing about this pink ball video that I keep forgetting to download, and then I was going to show on Wednesday, but then I didn't show up on Wednesday, so, you know, that's just how that works. Here is what we're talking about. Now, if you've got someone else in the room who hasn't been paying attention, well, they're gonna look at you funny, and they're gonna expect a smell. Here we go. All right, there you go. So, is that like a giant pink bean? Well, the reaction is the noise sure seems to make it seem like it's one pink bean, doesn't it? But honestly, I don't actually know precisely what it is, but what I can glean from, or what I can assume is, there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube that's like they take almost molten, red hot iron. So I'm assuming it's a red hot metal ball of some sort. I'm just gonna say iron for lack of I don't know. So it's a red, boiling, well, not boiling hot, but red hot. and then they put it in different materials to see like what happens. So I don't know what material it was that they put that in. I can only assume, I mean, obviously it was some sort of gelatin, and I can only assume that it's not gelatinized alcohol, because if it was gelatinized alcohol, that whole thing would have gone up in flames. So whatever it is some sort of inflammable jello substance, and Piccolo T has nailed it right on the head. Any theories at this point in the game would just be hot air. Exactly. So, Mama Sean, what is it? I don't know. It's it. What is it? It's it. It's the pink ball. It's the pink ball video that people have been requesting for weeks now, and for various and assorted reasons did not get played until just now. All right, so yes, Katie is the one who shared it. So Katie might be able, actually, and Katie is here, so she might be able to say, oh yeah, that's actually not an iron ball, it was a molten hot steel ball, or whatever, and she's like, and it totally was like cornstarch liquid or whatever. I'm pretty sure it wasn't cornstarch liquid, but Katie, just like the rest of us, I don't know what it is. It was just funny. Okay, she didn't say that it was just funny part. I just said that. But it looks like we have got the hype drain wrapped up in a whole new set of emojis if you were part of that hype train, I guess. So woohoo! All right, you guys, thank you so much. Now, all right, now that you're feeling in a little bit of a giggly mode, I've got something to show you guys that is absolutely not even, I mean, it's funny, but it's equally painful. Kenny from the Cove, here we go. All right, good to see you, my friend. So, for all of us who have hung out here for as many years as we have, and for all of us who have come from the Andy Bumatai Daily Pigeon scheme of things, we all know that what we're about to watch is so painful. But it's so painful that it's kind of funny. Now, okay, the topic is not funny. The topic is the most ghetto high schools in the state of Hawaii. Frankly, I'm not so sure I even appreciate where they're coming from with that. That's really not the point of the video. I mean, no, that's the point of the video. That's not why I'm playing the video. I'm playing this video so we can all die a little bit inside. So, yeah, here we go.
Which high school in Hawaii is the most ghetto? Number 15 is Baldwin High School in Wailuku. Number 14 is Maui High School in Kahului. Number 13 is Hilo High School in Hilo. Number 12 is Kiau High School in Kiau. Number 11 is Kau High and Pahala Elementary School in Pahala. Number 10 is Castle High School in Kaneohe. Number 9 is Kaimuki High School in Honolulu. Number 8 is Waipahu High School in Waipahu. Number 7 is Radford High School in Honolulu. Number 6 is McKinley High School in Honolulu. Number 5 is Kapoli High School in Kapoli. Number 4 is Campbell High School in Iwa Beach. Number 3 is Nanakuli High and Intermediate School in Nanakuli. Number 2 is Waianae High School in Waianae. Before I reveal number 1, make sure to follow me if you want to see more content like this. Number 1 is Farrington High School in Honolulu.
Oh my. So I know exactly, you guys. The pronunciations are just horrifying, right? Which is the only reason why I was sharing this with you, was so we could all die a little inside. But what I don't understand is how they managed to pronounce Waianae both right and wrong, one right after another. It was like, it's Waianae in Waianae. It's like, dude, it's the same word, and you just pronounced it two different ways. Trail Dust, feel free to go cast a few rings, and we will still be here. Hopefully, not pronouncing words. Hopefully pronouncing words better than that particular video was pronouncing them. Wipe a what? It's wipe a who? Wipe a who, not a what, Terry? And I'll tell you what, I take umbrage by them calling some of these high schools ghetto, because while they might be out in the sticks like Y&I, let me tell you right now, Y&I ain't no ghetto school anymore. Look at this. Holy flirkin' snit. This is their brand new football field and track that just got installed this year. Excuse me, just got installed last year, but is now in use for the 2025 football season that's coming up. Let me tell you, that has got to be the most beautiful high school football stadium in the world, with the most beautiful view. That is not a ghetto high school flippin' football field. And you're right, Terry and Scotland, it is an AstroTurf football field, which sometimes people say, AstroTurf is better. Sometimes people say it's worse. I don't actually know much about what is better or what is worse, but to play football on. But what I do know is until this particular renovation was done, Y&I was the only high school on the island that was still playing on natural turf. And so it actually gave them a distinct disadvantage when going to other fields. So the AstroTurf is sort of leveling the playing field, like quite literally. But also, and now this is where I'm just making stuff up here, I can only assume that maintaining the proper grass if a real turf football field, not Astro, but like real grass, maintaining grass of that, the needs of maintaining a grass field that close to the salty air and the ocean is probably next to impossible. And so even if ideally all the football fields would be natural turf, I think that Y&I would be a perfect example for why AstroTurf is probably the better plan. Because, you've got to deal with the salt air, and a lot of grass does not like salt air. Not to mention you have to make sure there's, when maintaining real grass, it takes a lot of fertilizers and extra chemicals, and being that close to the ocean, the runoff is a real concern. So I'm pretty stoked that they do have this upgrade in their facilities. And let's see here, Poppy Shaney is in the house saying aloha, and he just upped his sub. Thank you so much, Poppy Shaney. And let's see here. Right. Okay. So let's see here. All right. So you guys who know more than I know, Pocola T says kind of like the high school version of the UW Husky Stadium, except even a better water view. Exactly, Pocola T. And eMusic, I've been to that old field. The view of the ocean is beautiful. How could it not be, right? And Kenny, see, this is exactly what I was thinking. And Kenny is coming in with some logic, which is natural grass is best, but horribly expensive to maintain. Precisely. Not to mention, and for a high school to maintain it, to incur the cost to maintain it, being near so much salt water with all the chemicals, being so near the ocean, it seems like AstroTurf might be the better option. Terry in Scotland, Memorial Stadium in Wichita Falls has AstroTurf. The Dallas Cowboys training was held there for a couple years. Right, yeah, AstroTurf is really common, even, in the pros. And there's pros and cons to it. It gets dirty. There's infections that can get increased if, it can be kind of gross. And Kenny was saying that, that in the game, it is AstroTurf playing isn't necessary. I see what you're saying, Kenny, and I'm not going to say that. But, playing on AstroTurf is a distinct difference. And exactly, Terry, you better wear elbow pads on AstroTurf. That stuff will scrape your hide off. Exactly. But here's the deal, though. When all of the other high schools are playing on AstroTurf, it kind of put Y&I at a disadvantage because that's not what they were used to playing on. So it, like I said, it kind of evens the playing field. And so let's see here. Exactly. Yeah, everybody knows, oh my God, AstroTurf hurts when you take a fall. And when you do take a fall, you get that kind of a rug burn effect. And so you're not necessarily bleeding or lacerated, but you still have this, open skin. Your skin has been compromised, and from what I understand, after years upon years upon years, AstroTurf can get pretty nasty and like have some really gross bacteria in it. So it's not it's like I said, it's not ideal, but given the circumstances, I do think it's probably ideal. Now, Kenny, you're saying getting tackled on AstroTurf is like getting tackled on the street. AstroPlay is way more cushioned and forgiving. Fewer knee and other joints injuries for AstroPlay. Okay, I don't think I know what AstroPlay is then, because I was totally going in a different direction than that when you first brought up that term. And exactly, it sounds painful, a burn, than more a friction burn. Yeah, exactly, it's a friction burn. And friction burns, they do scrape your skin, they do compromise your skin barrier. And let's see here, Picola T, cheerleading on AstroTurf and doing repeated splits. Yeah, that burned. Right, exactly. And like I said, the compromised skin gets exposed to some pretty gross stuff that builds up on AstroTurf. Because I'm pretty sure they're not washing AstroTurf down with disinfectant after every game. So, let's see here. So, that's right, Poppy Shaney coming in with a reminder for all of us who are in the California or Las Vegas area. Andy Bumatai is going to be hitting the mainland this week for several shows. First, I think he's heading to Las Vegas, and then he's got 2 or 3 shows in California. He'll be staying with Poppy Shaney, and Tracy went to the store to get Andy some treats. Excelente. Got to make sure he's got his little ice cream or something like that, and his little chocolate bars, because Andy is just such a sweet toother, because Andy's just so sweet. And let's see here. Rick is coming in with AstroPlay has small granules of stuff to absorb shock. Oh, okay. All right, and Poppy Cheney coming in with the real reality. No, Madstatter. Andy was in Las Vegas last night. All right, Vegas people, you're too late. It's been done. You can't see that show. But if you're in California, you definitely can. And let's see here. Oh, in eMusic, she knows even more. She heard Andy do an interview earlier today. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Kenny from Terry's wondering to Kenny, is AstroPlay the stuff that looks like little black balls come out of it? I don't know what I'm talking about, Terry, but I'm gonna guess yes. It sounds like it from what Rick just said about the small granules of stuff. So I don't know. But hey, Bobby Shaney, can you remind me and remind the rest of us? Do you know? Does Andy have 1, 2, or 3 shows in California this week? For some reason, I had it in my head that he had 3 shows, but then only 2, I thought. But no, okay, so eMusic's coming in with 3. Okay, that is what I thought. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm not sure exactly where these shows are. I want to say one of them's in Hayward, and then beside that, honestly, y'all, the reason why I'm not paying attention is because I am a little bit jealous of everybody who gets to go. Like, had these shows been not but 2 weeks later, things would have been completely different and I would have been there. But because it didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, now I'm just jealous and I don't want to pay any attention. Okay, so three shows. Concord on Friday, Hayward on Saturday, and Cupertino on Sunday. Got it. Trail Dust, you're back. Did you miss any good t-shirt sayings? You know what, man? You're the one who spots them so good, so I'm just not so sure. We might have not. I don't really know, because you weren't here to let us know. And Poppy Shaney letting us know that it is James Monet's birthday today. For some reason, I thought James Monet's birthday was on the same day that he played the Blue Note, but it's not. It's one day before my mom's birthday. All right, I'll have to drop him a little happy birthday message once the stream is over. And I do hope that James Monet's Blue Note special on the 3rd of April went fabulously. But who knows? Maybe it was a 50th birthday blowout, or maybe it was a 50th birthday bummer. Hopefully it was a blowout. And let's see here. Darlene, all I know is better to land on AstroTurf in regards to impact on all the joints but you get what I call pretty decent Astro surf burns that are pretty nasty. Right. Exactly. Yes. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. AstroTurf is the terrible old school type of football service, and it's anchored by glue to usually a concrete surface. AstroPlay is laid over thick padding and is anchored down by little black dense rubber granules. AstroTurf curls up when the glue underneath starts letting go. Got it. Now, honestly, Kenny, I only watched one news article about it, and I swear they said AstroTurf, not AstroPlay. That being said, I didn't even know that AstroPlay was a thing until today. So they might have said it and I just assumed they meant AstroTurf. So now I'm very curious as to which one Y and I got. So I will be looking that up at some point just to clarify. Either way, AstroTurf or AstroPlay, this is an awesome flippin', flirpin', forkin' football stadium, man. Okay? This is just awesome. Brand new track, brand new field, not a brand new view, but still a wonderful view as always. And AstroTurf was developed by the evil Monsanto Corporation and other reasons to steer clear. Well, Terry, I can only assume that AstroPlay was probably similarly... I'm going out on a limb and saying Monsanto had a finger in the pie of the AstroSurf, right? And let's see here. Poppy Shaney, I can't imagine any school putting down AstroTurf, especially due to liability. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing. I need to go revisit the real details, but I really swear they were calling it AstroTurf in all the news segments that I heard. And like I said, I didn't even know AstroPlay was a thing, and so maybe my ear just heard it, but I swear, and ultimately, maybe they were just using AstroTurf as a generic the way we use Kleenex as a generic, even though that's not what, maybe they meant AstroPlay, but they said AstroTurf. So yeah, I'm very curious, actually. All I know is whatever Y&I's got, it's the same surface the other high schools currently have. That much I got, that much was made fairly clear in the newscast that I saw. And back in the day, you played on mud, said Trail Dust. Well, so did the boys at Y&I, from what it looked like before. The old field was pretty much just red dirt and sparse patches of grass. It was definitely not an ideal playing surface, no matter how, even somebody who doesn't know what they're looking at, I could tell, yeah, that's not a good playing surface. And so, let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, when I went to see the Eagles at University of Texas Stadium, they had AstroPlay. They just rolled up the AstroPlay and stored it elsewhere until after the concert. Wow, that must take a really big storage shed. Picola T, when you hear Astro, you can't help but thinking about the Jetsons dog. Right, meet George Jetson. Jane, his wife. Yeah, there we go. All right, so today is basically just a bunch of stuff that I thought was sort of funny, sort of good. Like, for instance, I thought this was a very funny option. Apparently in Canada, Vancouver, BC to be particular, they have rolled out a new pedestrian safety program. And I have to say, it is a unique safety program. And I don't know if other places will take a hint, but it does seem to be effective. So let's just look at the new safety program for pedestrians that has been rolled out in Canada. Now, I'm going to assume that those are foam bricks, but I actually don't know. And perhaps most of them are foam bricks, but there's one real, and that's the real, oh wait, that might be the real brick that pedestrian's carrying. And I say, the reason why I really like this is because I have been recently almost run over a million different times, it seems, in what I thought was a fairly well-lit crosswalk. I was literally in the middle of the street, having crossed one of the lanes, waiting to cross the next lane, and cars just kept speeding by me, and I was yelling at them and flipping them off. I'm like, hey, I'm in the crosswalk. Finally, a car pulled up and said, I love that you're flipping people off, but the reality is you're dressed all in black and no one can see you. And oops, I didn't mean to say that, but that was basically what they said. And so I was like, oh shoot, maybe I should start wearing reflective clothing. So I'm going to be getting some reflective spray for my black clothes. That being said, I would have loved to have had one of those bricks in those moments that happen when I'm in White Center, because it's always in the same crosswalk too. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove and Poppy Shaney are arguing about who had the tougher childhood, I guess. In my day, we walked 10 miles in 100-degree heat to play football in a cactus patch with fire ants. Facts. I would almost say that is an exaggeration, except for that sounds just like Texas to me. So, yeah. I don't know if Kenny is exaggerating. All right, so a couple more pieces of news from the Hawaii Nei. I've got this picture here. No, I don't. Where did the picture go? Here we go. Just so y'all are wondering, in case y'all are wondering, the Lahaina tree is looking pretty good these days. This is what it looked like as of March 21st. And has achieved to its previous look about 85% of what it was before the fire. The new spring growth is continuing. That's the lighter colored leaves. The growth from just a few weeks ago is already starting to turn its normal dark color. Very soon, we will see its previous look that it was before the fire. So, that is a bit of good news in regards to Hawaii Nei. And someone in White Center indulged in vulgar language. I'm shocked, I tell you. Yes, you should be clutching your pearls, Terry. You should be clutching your pearls. And trailed us. You wonder if the pedestrians get a ticket if they don't use approved bricks. I was wondering if one of the bricks in there is a real one. And I've also wondered, what if, because I'm going to just assume they're foam, okay? I'm going to assume they're foam. But they do look pretty real. So what I have to wonder is, what would happen if somebody in the middle of the night, or in the middle of the day, or slowly but surely, replaced the foam bricks with real bricks that look like it? And I agree, you guys. That's why I wanted to share the picture of the Lahaina tree, banyan tree, because when the fire did happen, I wept thinking that the tree had been lost, because the initial reports were that the tree had been lost. And honestly, without the efforts that the community made to keep it watered and sheltered and to revive it, I don't think the tree probably would have done as well on its comeback as it is clearly doing well on its comeback as it is now. Okay, that was not, you know what I'm trying to say. And yeah, the tree is kicking butt. And that is exactly right. And let's see here. Kenny, actually one of our opponents, Georgetown High, was behind a feedlot, Mucho Stinko, and they had fire ants on the field. Oh, jeez. That sounds awful, dude. That just sounds awful. And yeah, the arborists and the community did a really good job to take care of it. I totally agree. It looks like we got Verity in the house, and I've been so busy talking about the tree that I did not say, hello, Verity. Good to see you here. And let's see here. So that was one of the things I wanted to share with you guys. And another thing I wanted to share with you guys, totally, well, no, let's see here. Here we go. I've got a lot of stuff to share with you guys. It's been a minute, huh? So, as usual, our world traveler has been sharing pictures, only this time, our world traveler, that is Pacola T, she was just traveling in Hawaii. And in Hawaii, she found a bunch of, well, she was in Costco. This is today. Fresh off the truck today. Y'all need some Spam? They got some Spam at the Hawaii Costco. Just a little bit of Spam. Not that many big Spam. Just a little tiny bit of Spam. You better rush to go get the Spam. Because they're going to run out of the Spam. The Spam's going to be gone. And, but probably not anytime soon. And if you're not familiar, this is a new flavor of Spam that just came out in the last few months. I've been seeing it a lot in my convenience stores here. I'm not sure if you guys have been seeing it in your stores. It is a Korean flavor of gochujang, and I'm pretty sure I massacred. I absolutely massacred the pronunciation of gochujang. But gochujang is a what Spam is that? It is gochujang flavored Spam. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I will tell you right now. It is a Korean pepper paste that they use this in a lot of Korean food. If you've ever had Korean corn cheese, they use gochujang. And this is the brand that I use. And it's clearly from Korea. But I know I can't show this to you. It won't work out. But this is where you're going to see... Nope. This is where you're going to see where it says gochujang. Otherwise, it looks like this. And then... it sort of just looks like dried ketchup. But it's made from chilies. And so... I have not had it yet. But it is, and Darlene, yes, it's a spicy Spam version, and I only use gochujang very sparingly because I'm not a huge spice person, so I have been a little bit hesitant to try the gochujang Spam. But yes, actually, this is, if you're going to make kimchi, you need this. This is what makes the kimchi, this is one of the things that makes the kimchi red. So you're gonna need this if you ever make kimchi. I mean, not necessarily this brand, but the gochujang, that's what you're gonna need. And how hot? Verity, good question. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not sure. This, if you eat a lot of it, gets really hot. Very hot. But, you know, it's like, you know, if you ate a spoonful of horseradish, that's also very hot. But if you just use a little bit, it gives a little kick, you know? It's all about how much. I don't know how much the Spam tastes like gochujang. So, and like I said, I am saying that word wrong, by the way. I am saying that word very wrong. I'm just saying it the white girl way. But yeah, it's a new Spam. So be on the lookout for it if you're into spicy, trying spicy stuff. It might not be that spicy. I mean, it is made in America. So, you know, it's made in America, not in Korea. I don't know what else to say about that. Read between the lines with that one, right? And Terry in Scotland, you got some sriracha sauce from Thailand, where it was invented. That stuff is good on a Dorito. Yes, actually, Doritos can make wonderful platforms for the random sauces, as it were. I, on the other hand, like to And I already talked about this yesterday on the stream, on the movie stream. I like to get the flavored chips and then do things like dip them in cottage cheese. So instead of getting a plain chip and putting sauce on it, I get a flavored chip and put plain stuff on it. But you guys, so we've got Mexican version, we've got American version. American version comes in a lighter bag. Mexican version comes in a darker green bag. And they almost taste the same except for one thing, and you can see it just by looking at it. Hold on, let's get a good one. There we go. Come on, let's get a good one. Oh, well, that's not going to be as good as it gets. Alright, well, whatever, it's as good as it gets. Okay, so, Sriracha also pairs well with Frito Scoops. That doesn't surprise me. Honestly, you guys, everything pairs well with Frito Scoops. I love Frito Scoops. Alright, so, one of these chips... the lighting is very bad. Let's see here. I wish the lighting was better because one of these chips, i.e. this chip, is... God, it really doesn't look like it, but this chip is so clearly heavily seasoned. Like, this chip is almost red in comparison to this blonde chip, even though you wouldn't know it from looking at it. But I think that they're close to the same flavors, only this one has more flavor. And the American one has less flavor. And I really... Oh, man, I really... Here, let's see if I can change my lighting. God dang it, dude. This one, the Mexican one, has so much more seasoning on it. And so if you ever have the opportunity to grab the Mexican ones, do it. And let's see here. The chip on my right has the measles. Oops, ventured into the cows. Oh, that's okay. We're talking about chip measles, not real, not human variety. No big deal. Yes, naked sock puppets holding a chip. And, yeah, I'm glad, okay, over your screen, maybe it was coming in. The one that was darker with more seasoning, that's the Mexican one. And the one that looks like it was made for and by white people was the American one. The American one, not bad, but has a distinct lack of flavor in comparison to the one from across the border. So, I'll tell you what, man. All of my little Mexican versus American junk food snack tests really make it clear that Mexico has superior flavored snacks. They just do. It's a harsh reality, man. It's a harsh toke of reality, but it's just true. All right. So, okay. Trail dust. Are you here? We are here. We are witnessing trail dust. And that means we've got 1 minute till the Lono listening break. But you know what? Sometimes we're late on the Lono listening break. So who's to say that we can't be just a smidge early on the Lono listening break? So why don't we listen to some Lono? Let's do it.
Thank you, Ann, Elise, Ware. Thank you very much. Hammerjang Gang. Check that out, huh? Styling. You got them straight? Okay, yeah. Right there. Okay, let me see. Make sure the bugger is straight, okay? Let me see. Okay. Let's go. o ke kai e vai ni hoi wā me kane hoi wā o molo kai Amalo holo holo mai e kauna ka kai Kalohi ke kai e olu olu pa hea mali e Kame hoi wā o mō kai Kāmalo holo holo mai e kānaka kai Kalohi ke kai e olu olu pā hea mali e Ke kai o hono uli vai Hoi hoi kako He nani ke kai o puko o Hoi hoi kako He nani ke kai o kapaakea Hoi hoi kako He nani ke kai o molokai Hoi hoi hop Hoi ke kai o puko Hoi hoi kako E nani ke kai o kapaakea Hoi hoi kako E nani ke kai o molokai Hoi hoi hop Hoi It through. Thank you, Ann. Thank you very much.
All right, there we go. So that was our Lono listening break. Lady Misty, good to see you coming in just in time for that little musical interlude. Definitely one of my favorite Lono tunes. It's so hard to pick a favorite, but that is for sure in my top 10. I would say top 5, but let's just say top 10. All right, so while we were going through that Lono listening break, I did try to verify what type of turf this football field had installed. And the only thing that they kept saying was artificial turf will be laid down. So I cannot tell you what it is. In that short research period, I was the only thing that they said over and over again in the different articles that I scanned was artificial turf will be laid down. So my bad for calling it AstroTurf. But honestly, when I hear artificial turf, my brain just goes to AstroTurf. So still a little bit of a mystery in regards to what specifically that turf is. But I can say that the track is rubberized. And let's see here. I can't find the super chat thingy in YouTube. Where is it? It's not there because I'm not monetized on YouTube. You can only, there's only a couple ways that okay, well, hold on. First off, we've got a visitor. But yeah, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so the only ways to slide money in this direction is via Twitch, or if you want to go to my PayPal link, which is on both my YouTube and my Twitch pages, then there's that. But yeah, YouTube right now is, hopefully I'm gonna hit the required amount of followers after this next Merry Monarch, because it seems like when I show the Merry Monarch I get a lot of followers. So right here, y'all, so for all of you who have been following this story, this is Dusty, and you can see that he's kind of black, but this is his level of blackness right now at the beginning of April, and he's already starting to lighten up a little bit because he's hanging out in the yard a lot. So by August, I'm going to anticipate that he is going to be like a blonde bear. He is just going to be so sun-kissed. He's going to be the blondest black kitty that ever existed. But oh gosh, I was hoping you could hear him hugging or hear him purring. But yeah, he is tolerating so he can get the neck scratches. And now I'll let him go. Whoop. Now I'll let him go. All right. So now that I got distracted by my kitty, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So yeah, you can't give me money via YouTube. Merry Monarch. Hopefully I'll get to the 1,000 followers and then things will change. But then again, I don't know. I don't know if YouTube will allow that because they'll be able to. We'll see. We'll see. Last year, I got in trouble with YouTube for Merry Monarch, so we'll just have to see. And speaking of Merry Monarch, all y'all, next week for Statterbox at the Cinema, it is going to be Singles. Singles came out in 1992, starring Matt Dillon, starring Bridget Fonda, Kira Sedgwick, Campbell Scott, whoever the heck he is. Sounds like a reasonable name that I should know who he is. So yeah, that's gonna be that. And then the week after that is Easter weekend. We're gonna be watching Rise of the Guardians. And then the week after that, I will be showing the live stream on Saturday and Sunday for Merry Monarch. And so that means the Sunday chat show probably won't happen because I will be streaming something completely different. So I hope you guys get to come and hang out for the Merry Monarch. Literally, it's a 6-hour stream, 2 nights in a row. And if everything goes the way it has in the past, I will be streaming the full 6 hours each night. We're not streaming the Friday night Miss Aloha part, only the group competitions. And so let's see here. So Kenny from the Cove, perhaps my brothers and sisters in the chat can answer the question I have. AI, them interwebs and webnets didn't have a clear answer. In the Bob Seger song, You'll Accompany Me, he said a gypsy wind is blowing warm tonight. What the heck is a gypsy wind? And Shock coming in, a warm exotic wind that steals your children. Excellency, I had no idea. And let's see here. It looks like Mr. and Mrs. Aloha might have come in while I was torturing my cat. And so good to see you. And yes, Dusty definitely has the brown in his fur, E-Music. I call him, I think he's really a secret. I used to have a kitty like him, only I called him a secret tabby because when his hair bleached out, you could see he was like a brown base with black tabby stripes. But in the winter, he would just look all black. I think that Dusty is a secret Siamese because when he bleaches out, his points, his legs, his tail, his face, his ears, they all stay black, but it's his body that turns, like a Siamese. So I think he's a secret Siamese. And I agree that Shock would be excellent on trivia night, but apparently Kenny is not sure if in the context of that song, he's not sure if that is exactly what the Gypsy Wind means. So, Terry coming in, Gypsy Wind Boutique is a clothing store located in Billings, Montana, offering a variety of women's stylish clothing. I don't think that's what Bob Seger was singing about. That much, I don't know whether or not Shock's version was right, but I'm pretty sure, Terry, that is not what Bob Seger was singing about. And let's see here. Oh no, what did Darlene say? He does get so much darker and yes, exactly. And here he is again for a cat who really hates being held. He really enjoys asking to be held. Yeah. And let's see here. Our cat Mallow is white with tan points. Name comes from marshmallows. Clearly, I mean, he's a little bit of a toasted marshmallow. He's just lightly toasted with his little points. Oh, he sounds so yummy. Oh, it's so wonderful. And let's see here. You think the Gypsy Wind is an actual weather term? Yeah, it probably could be. We used to have the Pineapple Express. We don't use that anymore. And we still have the Chinook winds. And the Chinook winds actually are warm winds. And he's not trying to steal the Doritos right now, but you are probably right. Or he could be begging for food. It is 6 p.m. and around 6:30 is when his wet food goes down. So I'm going to say ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner. Darlene is reading the cat vibes very, very, very well. And let's see here. Oh, Terry, you did. You asked Bob about that, and he told me he was a regular patron of Gypsy Wind in Billings. All right. Yeah, sure. And, Dusty might want to steal my Doritos. I, however, would be fine with that. However, where I'm from, where I grew up, my hillbilly ways, I grew up in, the semi-rainforest of Kitsap County, and we don't necessarily take kind to people stealing stuff, especially people stealing our chickens. Wait, what? Yeah, no, for real, you guys, this happened in the county that I grew up in, not but last week, and yeah, don't steal a chicken.
Show me your hands. That's fine. Just hold your chicken. I'm not going to hurt your chicken.
Kitsap County Sheriff's deputies confront a man accused of stealing a chicken while violating an order of protection. The call for help came from a woman who said her former boyfriend had shown up at her home in unincorporated Port Orchard early in the morning of Saturday, March 29th, kicking in a back door and shouting, "I've got Polly," several times before running away with the chicken that was inside the house.
Hey, show us your hands.
I got my chicken.
Stand up.
After a search, deputies located the man hiding in a wooded area on J.M. Dickinson Road.
Hey, relax a little.
He was still clutching the chicken as he was taken into custody.
I'm going to have you put the chicken in here for a second.
Deputies allowed him to place the chicken safely into a patrol unit before booking him on charges of residential burglary and violating an order of protection. KCSO jail records showed the 50-year-old man had been released from custody that morning just 2.5 hours before the incident. After his arrest, Polly the chicken, who was unharmed, was returned to her family.
So, don't steal a chicken. They will draw their guns on you, apparently. And C Honda, you have a couple black neighbor cats that have a touch of brown, and you always think of Dusty. That's good to know that he's world famous. And yes, exactly. Kenny is saying Dusty's working on becoming a famous internet kitten. More and more, he's seeking FaceTime in the chat. Yes, I think he might be working towards becoming an influencer, although his face is not what's about to be on the, his face is the opposite end of what's about to be on camera. I'm feeling a little nervous about just what angle he's going to come at next. And yeah, he's a chicken thief, but why? A domestic attack. Obviously, he and his ex-girlfriend, I'm assuming, are not getting along, and he wanted his chicken back. Now that he's kicked out of the house, he wanted to take Polly. I don't know. I just thought it was really... Okay, first off, it's not funny because it is a case of domestic violence. He did break into the house that he was not supposed to be. I mean, it's really actually not funny. But it was funny, okay? Don't hurt... He's crying. Don't hurt my chicken. Don't... He clearly loves the chicken. I mean, obviously that was a pet, right? And so... Yeah, Dusty, that's right. Dusty's trying to boost my YouTube subscribers. He's showing a little fur. Yep, there you go. And what would Twitch say about gratuitous cat butt in the stream? You know how they are. Precisely, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to risk the cat butt. And yeah, there was an order against going there. There was, and he just had been released from being picked up for that. And then what did he do? He went straight back to the thing. And let's see here. Babybo, good to see you here. We already watched the pink ball event, just so you know. You're going to have to go to the beginning of the stream to watch the farting noise, but we did finally get to that video. And good to see you here, by the way, though. And let's see here. So that was where I grew up, and you'll notice that it is, you might have noticed that it's quite green. There was a lot of moss, there was a lot of growth, and that's because where I grew up, was in one of those dark green areas on this map. Do you guys think that we were going to go an entire stream without a map? What were you thinking? You know me better. Yeah, we had to have a map. It is map time. What we're looking at here is the Olympic Peninsula of the state of Washington, one of the few places in the northern continent that actually, the northern hemisphere, that actually has a rainforest. Most people associate rainforests with the tropics, but we actually have temperate rainforests up here, both in the Olympic National Forest and a little bit further up in Canada. They've got some equally rainy parts, and in southeast Alaska they do as well. So we're looking here at this particular map, and that hot pink over in the center, that's 200 plus inches of rain a year. 200 plus inches of rain a year at the peaky point of the rainforest. But you'll notice just a few 100 miles to the east of it, in a place called, say, Port Townsend, another place called, like, say, Port Ludlow, another place called Port Angeles and Sequim. Those places are literally looking at 18 to 25 inches of rain a year. So within just a couple 100 miles, we go from 200 plus inches of rain per year to a place that gets less than 20 inches of rain per year. And in places like those, we actually have a native cactus that grows in the state of Washington, Western Washington. Now, having a cactus in Eastern Washington, if you've ever been there, would be no surprise. Eastern Washington is absolutely very dry. But No. Even though we've got the rainforest here on the west side, just outside of the rainforest, we've got what's known as a rain shadow, and that rain shadow is dark. It's cast long and loud and high and dry, as it were. And yeah, huge climate differences. Like I said, so much so that in places like Sequim, Port Townsend, Port Angeles, and yeah, I'm not at all surprised that Port Townsend or Port Angeles is a fun drive in Truck Sim. It's one of my favorite drives in real life on this particular, in my state. In fact, if you, what am I trying to say? If you come visit Washington, I honestly really do recommend spending 2 or 3 days taking a drive around the Olympic Peninsula. You will be astounded by the natural beauty. You will be astounded by the differences in the natural beauty from area to area to area. The Olympic Peninsula is very, very, very uninhabited. So it's one of the best places in Washington. And let's see here. The ferry across the Sound is in Port Townsend. No, that's not really true, Terry. The ferry across the Strait of Juan de Fuca into Canada is in Port Townsend. And there might be a ferry to the mainland, but Port Townsend is a little bit too far north to be in the Puget Sound. The Puget Sound is further south from Port Townsend, and we have a fork ton of ferries in the state of Washington. We've got the largest ferry system in the 50 states. And so they do have a ferry, but it's not the main ferries that cross the Puget Sound. Those ones are the Bainbridge, the Seattle, the Edmonds, the Winslow. Those routes are the routes that go actually to and from or across the Sound. Port Townsend, like I said, I think is the one that goes across the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Then again, there might be, do they have tooth ferries? Are they good ferries or bad ferries? Picola Tea, they serve beer. They're good ferries. They serve beer. They're very good ferries. And do they have tooth ferries? No, they just have the car ferries, the passenger ferries, and then the ferries that serve beer, which are the car ferries. Which I realize is very ironic, right? Let's just keep people on a boat for an hour and a half where they've got nothing to do and feed them beers, and then they have to drive off the boat. Yeah, but you know, that's what we do here. That's how we do it here. Yeah. But you guys, did you really think I was only going to talk about one little piece of map? No. It's been 2 streams since we've seen each other. I've got more maps. In fact, I have all the maps. No, that's not true. I don't have all the maps. Rick has all the maps. Rick and Darlene have all the maps. Rick has all the maps, and Rick didn't even know that he had all of the maps. Until he found this little news piece, and he had to show it to me because, you know. Oh, Terry in Scotland, which beer? Multiple kinds, but Red Hook is the main one. Red Hook. Oli, no. You would think Oli, that makes sense, but no, Oli not. Red Hook is a Seattle-based brewery, and Red Hook started out as a Seattle-based brewery. They're in Woodinville now. And it's Red Hook. But, let's see here. Picola Tea, even better, the cars drive off the ferries onto unlit island roads. Also true, Picola Tea, who has lived here and knows exactly what I'm talking about. But Rick just needed a map to find the maps. Exactly. Rick needed a map to find the map. And I tell you what, dude, I love beer. I love Rick and Darlene. I love the idea of a Culver's Butterburger. I love the idea of Culver's custard. I have a million reasons to go to Milwaukee, but this is the reason that I'm going to go to Milwaukee. Sorry, Rick. Sorry, Darlene. Sorry, Culver's hamburgers and custard. This is the reason I am going to go to Milwaukee. And eMusic, thank you. They're fake. I I put them on Friday. They're glue-on nails. So yeah, if you notice my fancy nails, it costs $10.99 from the beauty salon store. Good eye, music. Thank you so much. But regardless of nails, this is what I'm talking about. And you guys, this is all I want to do when I go to Milwaukee. I don't want to drink beer. I don't want to eat custard. I don't want to... Well, Rick and Darlene can come with me. But you know me. Let's just watch.
Finally at 4, for all you history buffs out there, there's a little hidden gem for you right here in Milwaukee. Natalie Shepard takes us to the American Geographical Society Library in this week's CBS 58 Hometowns.
Well, what if I told you in 2025 you can take a step back in time, come check out all kinds of maps dating all the way back to the 1400s, or take a spin around the globe? And it's all right here in Milwaukee.
I'm Marcy Bidney. I am the curator of the American Geographical Society Library. So the American Geographical Society started in 1850 in New York City. In the mid-1960s, the society needed to move into a smaller location. So they did a national search for a place to bring the collection. So the AGS came and looked at the space. They saw it. They were very excited. And so they said, yeah, you can have it. And it came here in 1978. It was moved from New York City to Milwaukee on 16 tractor trailers and arrived here to great fanfare in August of 1978, and we've been here ever since. So the collection sits right now at about 2 million items, and that is broken up into 2 major parts of the collections: the cartographic collection, which are all of the maps, and our photograph collection, which dates from the mid-1800s until the early 2000s. We have 254 globes. And so this is a Hondius globe from 1613. It is the oldest globe that we have in the collection. It makes a really good statement when you come in here and you see all of these globes and you're like, whoa. So we try to diversify what we collect. And anytime we come across a globe that is in a different language, we will buy it. The oldest map we have is from 1452. We call it the Liardo Mappamundi. There are 3 Liardo maps left in the world. 2 of them are at libraries in northern Italy, and one of them is here in our collection. So I think a lot of people just think about geography as learning place names and capitals, but it's so much more than that. And I think we are a really great resource to show what that means.
You don't need a map to find the American Geographical Society Library. It's right here on the 3rd floor of the Golda Meir Library on UWM's campus. It is open to the public, so come check it out. For 58 Hometowns, I'm Natalie Shepard.
So there you go. Hey, Lady Tie-Dye, good to see you. Just got over, just finished watching a little clip that was given to us by Rick about a place that I need to visit before I die. It's the American Geographical Association's headquarters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'll tell you what, it has like 200 plus globes. That's all I need to know. They've got way more than that, but the 200 plus globes, that's all I need to know. Yep. I'm going to spend one day there looking at globes and one day looking at maps. Terry in Scotland, Heaven and Molly be finding a globe in a dumpster. Not so much, maybe, actually, you know what, Terry, it depends. Shut up, Terry. It all depends on the globe, actually, but seriously, I wish that I had globes that I could just pull down from my ceiling and, have. I love globes so much. I want a map room. We've already talked about this so many times, but I can tell you this. One of my favorite memories was going into a thrift shop, and I saw that they had 3 different globes for sale. And so I went and I looked at them all, and I picked the one I wanted. But then, as I was going to buy it, this guy and his wife came in, and he was like, "Oh, hey, she got a globe." And I was like, "Yeah, there's still 2 more left, blah, 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 but I blah, 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 blah." And anyway, they ended up buying a globe, and then a third person came in. Anyway, because I was buying a globe and then the second person bought the globe, that third person bought the third last globe. So just because I bought a globe, suddenly like that store had a run on globes. I was so happy that globe people came in all at the right time. And if I found a globe in a WA dumpster, even if it was broken, even if it was identical to the one that I have, I would feel like that was meant to be, that was a treasure that that the universe, it had my name on it, that I would have to recover it from that dumpster. If there was a globe, in a WOA dumpster, yeah, it would be mine. Period. End of story. Exactly, C Honda. It was a you get a globe, I've got a globe, everybody gets a globe today. Yes, exactly. I'd have to clean it up and adopt it, precisely. Now, the globe that I chose for at the thrift store is a very specific era in time. I had a choice between the globe that I grew up with the countries that I grew up with for the first part of my life, or, and this is the globe that I chose, I could choose the globe that was only in existence for like a year or 2, 3, maybe. And so the globe that I have has Germany reunited. So it's one Germany, not two. But the Iron Curtain is still up. So it's Yugoslavia. It's, it's all this, it's, I don't even remember the names anymore, but all of the, the Iron Curtain, the Slavias, all the things that we don't say anymore, Serboslavia or whatever. Anyway, it's a very specific era, and so I chose that one very specifically. And Kenny from the Cove, you tried to clean a globe when you were a little kid. You totally wiped out Russia and China. And that's funny. That is funny. And yeah, so I'm very proud of my globe because it's got a unified Germany, but everything else is old school the way I remember it growing up. And obviously that's a lie, because if I remembered it growing up, if I still remembered it, I'd be able to tell you all the countries that I can't remember. So here I am just lying to all y'all. Sorry about that. And and so let's see here. What else do we have on the docket for today? Czechoslovakia. Right. There we go, Terry. Perfect example of what we don't have anymore. Now it's known as the Czech Republic. On my map, my globe, it's Czechoslovakia. All the Slovakias, all of the Ovakias, all of the the things that aren't that now. Although maybe one day we'll be again. Hopefully not. Anyway, that's a different story that we're not even going to get into. All right, so we have got one more map for the day. What? Are you kidding me? We've had too many maps, man. Too many maps. No, we got one more map. And this is a map that I don't know if... hold on. Now I can't even find it. Uh-oh. No, where did it go? This was a funny map. There we go. I found the map now. Okay. I don't know if Rick and Darlene are going to be proud of this or ashamed. But I got to tell you, Wisconsin, you have a drinking problem. Wisconsin, you really have a drinking problem. I mean, it's maybe one of the reasons why I want to go visit, but seriously, Wisconsin, this is a map of the United States of America. And it is a percentage broken down by county of problem drinkers. So, as you can see, the average amongst the United States is between 15 and 19% problem drinking. The reds and the purples are where we really get into some situations. Now, if you'll take a look at that green state in the west, that's Utah. Shouldn't really surprise us that Utah is in the green. Less than 15% of their population is considered a problem drinker. Not really surprised at all. Oh, look, very secluded places in Alaska have problem drinking. Once again, not really surprised at all. But as an entire state, boy howdy, Wisconsin, you know how to come in first place like nobody's business. You've got more red than anybody and a good helping of purple as well. I just can't believe it. Around here we say drinking, no problem. Exactly, Rick. And what made Milwaukee famous has made a loser out of me, says Jerry Lee Lewis. And you are a very pretty color, eMusic. I mean, you are of all of the states, your state really is the colors that I would choose as a color scheme. Reds and purples are nice, but indeedly-do, my friend. Rick, you win. There is no two ways about it. And I gotta say, Oklahoma is remarkably clean. I was kind of surprised, but then I got to looking and it was like, oh look at that belt of green across the south. Oh, look at that belt of green across the south. Oh, right, the Bible Belt. I guess they're a little bit more teetotaling in the Bible Belt, which shouldn't necessarily shouldn't necessarily surprise me. And eMusic coming in, Oklahoma is part of the Southern Baptist Belt, and right there you can see the belt pretty much. I mean, you can see it pretty much right there. And but what I do love is that that Florida is kind of like average, but then the Keys, and I don't know what that part of South, I don't know what that tiny dark red bit is at the end of Florida, but whatever part of that Florida is, they are definitely they've been bending their elbow a bit. And Kenny from the Cove, let's see here. Oh, wait, Terry, Austin is a bit purplish. Who'd have thought? Yeah, they're in the dark red zone for sure. And I definitely think that is not a shock. And see, Honda, that green looks like a tornado alley. Well, you know, the Bible Belt, the tornado alley do sort of overlap a little bit. And if you notice, says Darlene, more of the remote areas, like up north areas, there's a lot of bars. In fact, up north, on our smaller lake, there's 2 bars within walking distance of the lake. Oh, wow. And Kenny from the Cove posing a great question. If nobody gets hurt when you get bagged, can you really be considered a problem drinker? And Rick coming in with excuses. To be fair, that map was drawn on a Friday night. And Trail Dust. My county is darker than I thought, but we are across the river from Wisconsin, so... And you do bring up a very good point there, Kenny. Methlahoma has latched into something else other than alcohol, and that is actually very true. When a community doesn't have access to one type of intoxicant, they will find another type of intoxicant. Case in point, Hawaii, back in the 70s and the early 80s, weed was the thing. And then suddenly in the early to mid 80s, weed became problem number one as far as the federal government was concerned. And major marijuana anti-marijuana operations were taking place on the islands in Hawaii. And so once weed became much more difficult to find, the Hawaiian locals, not Hawaiian native, well, anyway, the locals on Hawaii, they found an easier thing to get high off of. Crystal meth. Ice. It'll keep you up high for 24 hours. So, you know, sometimes you have to ask yourself, which intoxicant do I really want in my community? Alcohol? Weed? Or meth? Oh, I want the meth. Said no one ever. Well. But, you know, lessons sometimes are learned the hard way. All right, so let's see here. Plenty of Crystal Methodists in North Texas and Southern Oklahoma. Yes, exact Crystal Methodists. That's yes, exactly. But they're pure because they're not drinking and they're not dancing. As long as they're not drinking and dancing, they'll go to heaven. Right? Is that how that works? After they stay up for 8 days straight, they'll certainly be thinking they're seeing angels or seeing something. And, Kenny from the Cove, you got to go buy 3 meth labs to get to the place in rural Oklahoma where my buddy Marty lives. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know, actually, as much as okay, here I am making fun. That is right. I've got 3 minutes left. So one quick story. As much as I am making fun of meth labs in the South or in Hawaii, let me just make it very clear. In the 20 plus years that I have lived in my neighborhood, in this house, I've had one meth lab roof explode not but a half a block away, and another meth lab get torn down in the last year about a half a block away. So I don't live in a neighborhood that's necessarily any better than Methlahoma. So, you know. Just because I'm laughing and pointing fingers doesn't mean there isn't 3 fingers pointed back at myself. All right? You know what I'm saying? And exactly, Kenny, you know why Southern Baptists don't have sex standing up? Because it looks too much like dancing. Exactly. Sort of that. Yeah, I was thinking about that joke when I said that. Anyway, so I want to thank you guys for hanging out for all of the maps, all of the intoxicants, and all of the everythings. Hopefully we will see each other on Wednesday. You know what, you guys? I am not promising it. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and it may or may not happen. Okay? I wish I could be more. I wish I could tell you no or yes. Once April 15th is over, things will be different. And I really appreciate you guys hanging through this very messed up season that normally the season is not nearly as messed up as it is. But I really, really appreciate you guys showing up and then walking away because it's not there. But I do appreciate you guys not giving up on this stream and showing up if and when you can. So thank you, mods, for that sword action, because we actually did need it today. Thank you, biddy givers. Thank you, gift subbers. Thank you, resubbers. And thank you so much, chattery chatterers, because without the chattery chatterers, we can't hang out here with anything to do. We'd have nothing to do. We'd just be staring at each other. Or maybe you'd be watching me pet Dusty. All right, you guys. So we'll see each other on, Kenny from the Cove working on getting a copy of Smokey and the Bandit. Awesome. That will eventually be, if and when Kenny gets his hands on that will be shown at the cinema at some point. But, yes, thank you guys for letting the chatter scatter. Darlene, it said, scattered everywhere today. It did, and I love it. So, we will hopefully see each other Wednesday. No promises. Next Saturday, we'll be watching the movie Singles, called Dang It. There we go, Singles. And then the Sunday, we will have a chat again. Okay, it's bottom of the hour. We can do this on time. Take care, y'all.